It's Friday, January 23rd, today on Your Morning Atlantic. The New Brunswick government is today expected to release its final report on a mystery brain disease that for years has baffled experts. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And the Giller goes local. The prestigious Canadian Literary Prize is handing over the decision-making to independent booksellers this year, including one longtime store in our region. We'll chat with the folks from Bookmark about being chosen in our second hour.
And when should you consult a lawyer? We'll get the details in our latest Legal Insider segment. All that and so much more just ahead on the Friday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Hello, happy Friday. Come on in, 6:01 today, Friday, January 23rd. Second last Friday of the month. And if you're like me, January seems to be a month, like the calendar's this big, but January for some reason this big and all the other months are this big. But yeah, she's been a long one.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking that as well. And speaking of the calendar, I do still have to replace the physical calendars in our home. That is something I have not done yet.
Oh my gosh. Again, the Christmas Daddies calendar.
The Christmas Daddies calendar.
Head over to Giant Tiger, support Christmas Daddies, and have lots of space to put all your appointments in. Or some people make notes on the day, like my family members sometimes put like the weather that day. Today you could probably put cold, bold, 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 exclamation, exclamation mark.
Yeah, we're preparing for that deep freeze into tonight. But we have actually another system headed our way into the weekend. This is the big event we're actually watching out for.
Oh my gosh.
So we do have a polar front moving in, and what that means is it's going to mesh with a low pressure system, and it's bringing snow our way. So this is the systems that parts of the U.S. is dealing with. It's starting to move down and towards us. So Sunday night, that's when we're looking at that snowfall into Monday morning. So that's what you're actually going to be looking for into the weekend for the forecast.
Wow, so could be another snow day possibly for students on Monday.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's something then.
But temperatures are going to cool down. So that's what we're focusing on today. We are going to see that deep freeze move in a little bit later on and starting off a bit cooler as well across the region. So currently into Yarmouth, it is 1 degree as of right now. So not as bad as we're seeing across parts of Atlantic Canada. A bit mild starting off your day. We do expect a chance of flurries, though, throughout your day today. In terms of the current temperatures, -9 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, -4 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -3 in Sydney, as well as into Halifax, 0 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill early this morning. So temperatures already feeling a bit cooler starting off your day and going to continue to get colder. So keep this in mind when you are heading out. There's a risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador. A cold warning now issued for Saturday morning until Sunday across New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and northern Nova Scotia as of right now. Could see that wind chill getting down to -25 to -37. And then we do have a cold warning also issued for parts of Labrador Saturday until Tuesday, seeing that wind chill dropping as well. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. Pretty calm day ahead, seeing a bit of sunshine, but also seeing a chance of some flurry activity across parts of Atlantic Canada today. In terms of the wind, a bit breezy as well, picking up into the afternoon. As of right now, 35 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 22 in Moncton, and we are going to see a 1 wind gust at this time, getting up to 31 kilometers per hour in Moncton. We'll take a look at your weekend forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. The New Brunswick government is today expected to release its final report on a mystery brain disease that for years has baffled experts. Nearly 400 New Brunswick residents, mostly in the Acadian Peninsula and Moncton areas, have reported symptoms of what the province has deemed a, quote, neurological syndrome of unknown cause. First reported in 2021, symptoms include memory problems, balance issues, behavioral changes, muscle spasms, and bursts of intense pain. In 2022, health officials said experts found no evidence that a cluster of cases existed following an investigation of 48 patients, 46 of them referred by a single neurologist. Halifax's busy Quinpool Road is back open this morning. Last night, Halifax police had an area cordoned off, and Nova Scotia Power's outage map reported a significant outage for the Quinpool Road area. The call came in around 7:30 p.m. A large propane tank was found to be leaking on Large Street, and experts didn't want to take any chances, so they cut the power. We are told some residents were evacuated and comfort buses were called in. The neighborhood is heavily populated by Dalhousie students. Power has since been restored. There is word Porter Airlines is closing its Halifax and Thunder Bay bases. CUPE says the decision will affect about 60 employees across both cities. The union says it got word of the news on the 14th and says the company is treating the matter as a group termination. Published reports say the company has decided maintaining hubs in Toronto and Ottawa is the most effective way to operate in the evolving industry. First Nation chiefs across Atlantic Canada are calling for an urgent meeting with the federal government after 2 Indigenous men were fatally shot by RCMP officers over the past 2 weeks. A group representing Indigenous communities say they want to meet as soon as possible with federal ministers and senior leadership from the RCMP. The chiefs say they have serious concerns following the deaths of a man on Nukuktuk First Nation in New Brunswick and another on Sabaganagati First Nation in Nova Scotia last week. Both cases are being investigated by the Serious Incident Response Team. At the pumps this morning, a small increase in gas prices overnight, but a bigger jump for the price of diesel. Beginning with Nova Scotia, Zone 1, gas increased by 0.6 cents. The minimum price now $1.33 a litre. A bigger increase for diesel, which jumped by 7.2 cents. The minimum price now $1.67.3. In Prince Edward Island, gas increased by 1.7 cents. The minimum price now $1.45 a litre. Diesel jumped by 7.4 cents. The minimum price now $1.79.7. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 0.2 cents. The maximum price now $1.36.9. And diesel increased by 4.2 cents a litre. The maximum price now $1.76.6. Now to a rare and delightful problem to have. An animal shelter in Dartmouth quite literally has no animals looking for their forever homes at the moment. CTV's Emma Convey has more.
Today, yesterday, and the day before. We post them at 9:30 in the morning. By 10 o'clock, we have a lineup out front, and by noon, they're all adopted.
From dogs to cats to kittens, the adoption rate at this animal shelter just continues to climb. In all of 2025, 500 animals were adopted. In the first few weeks of 2026, they've already seen 30 find their forever home.
It's crazy to say, but today we actually have no one available for adoption. Everyone is either adopted and waiting to go home, or they're waiting for their veterinary health certificate.
It started picking up in the spring and hasn't slowed down. They attribute the boost in part to the companionship and mental health benefits pets can offer. Bite a While also offers incentives to foster older pets.
The palliative care program, if you adopt or foster a palliative care cat from us or dog, we cover the cost of all the medical visits, all of their medications.
Last year's waitlist to adopt kittens was around 300. To get ahead of demand this year, they've switched from a waitlist to a walk-in system. But they encourage potential adopters to check the website before showing up. Emma Convey, CTV News, Dartmouth.
What a great problem to have.
Yeah, wow. Great news. Wonderful that our people of the Maritimes consider a rescue animal, you know, as an option, because they need homes.
They do, and Bite a While, they do such wonderful work there. We were there for, I was asked there for Giving Tuesday because they had opened up their kitten room for cuddles and petting. The 8-year-old and I had a great time.
I could imagine, yeah.
I bet, and it's that kind of outside of the box thinking that's getting these adoptions handled. Okay, this is totally different, but it's science.
Okay.
We love a little science, especially on a Friday. You may think it's the thing from the Addams Family in modern times. It's creepy and it's kooky, and it's a robot hand being developed in the UK. The hand can detach from a robotic arm, grab an item, then reattach to the arm.
Oh.
This is Inspector Gadget stuff. The hands are the hands are meant to, there it goes. Sorry, it's just distracting. This is so wild and wonderful. Interesting about this robot hand, no thumb. It's all fingers, interestingly, but they can kind of act like a thumb because it's a robot hand. It could do things our hands can't do. But isn't that fascinating?
That's fascinating.
Very cool.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Look at that. We can't do that.
I like be able to do that.
Whoa.
Well, let's switch it. Pick up the. Oh, what is happening here?
Oh my gosh! It's so. A hand is so smart.
It's got like fine dexterity. I guess if we had a whole bunch of fingers that could move in any direction and a very flat top of the hand, we could be like that. I don't want to be like that.
No, I don't want to be like that. If anyone
comes in handy, I guess. Yeah,
so to speak.
If anyone's read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, it's reminding me of Rocky.
Really?
That's
that's
all. That's all we'll
Not
say.
seen it, but
all right, we're going to have your first look at your national and international news headlines on this Friday too. And Latavia will have more details on the forecast. And as you can tell, there's lots to talk about. We got cold weather on the way, and then we have that snow coming Sunday night. She's got the details next.
Happy Friday, Atlantic, Canada. The time now is 6:13. We're taking a live look at Brookvale. Starting off, -3 degrees early this morning. We are expecting sunshine in your area with flurries arriving into the evening. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. We are seeing a bit of a cold start to the day for parts of Atlantic Canada at least. As of right now, -11 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, -5 over in Charlottetown, -3 degrees currently in Halifax, -4 in Sydney, -31 over in Labrador City, and -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. And then factor in that wind chill, feeling a lot cooler early this morning. And speaking of cold, we do have a cold warning in effect for parts of all 3 maritime provinces for Saturday morning until Sunday. We're expecting polar air to move through our region, helping to not only cool things down, but also bringing snow our way. And we do have that cold warning also in effect for parts of Labrador Saturday until Tuesday, the wind chill nearing -40 to -50. Here's a look at our current forecast. So we are going to see sunshine for parts of Atlantic Canada early in the morning as the sun begins to rise. Also going to see a bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland and into the parts of the maritime region as well. Taking us into the afternoon, much of the same, looking at a chance of flurry activity, either 30 to 60% chance of it happening. Taking us into tonight, that's when we're going to see that cool down, that deep freeze headed our way because of that polar air moving through the region, helping to really cool things down, and then factor in that wind chill. Feeling even colder, we do have a risk of frostbite for parts of the region. Into Saturday morning, a cold morning ahead. We are going to see sunshine return as well as some flurry activity for much of the region. And then into Sunday, that's when we have that snow event. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Taking a look, though, at our snowfall outlook, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters across Nova Scotia. Also seeing 1 to 5 for Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick. Daytime highs will range from -10 to -2. Flurries expected on and off throughout the day today. Pretty light wind out of the west, 20 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island looking at highs between -5 to -3. Looking at sunshine throughout your day, but we do have flurries arriving into the evening. Wind gusts of 40. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at a chance of some scattered flurries throughout your day. Daytime highs will range from -3 to +1. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at some scattered flurries also expected throughout your day, with daytime highs ranging from -2 to +2 degrees. For Labrador City, also seeing sunshine throughout your day today with a high of -17 degrees. 1 degree for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. Also seeing a bit of flurry activity, but especially into the evening. Over to our forecast for Saturday. As I mentioned, sunny and cold, a bit of flurry activity expected. For Sunday's forecast, that's what we're focusing in on. We are going to see flurry activity yet again, a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. But then into the evening, that's when we start to see snow move in. So you're going to want to watch for the forecast into the weekend because we are expecting snow to move in on Sunday night into Monday. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. To your international news now. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Quebec City, continuing to meet with cabinet ministers. Yesterday, he addressed Canadians, standing firmly against U.S. President Donald Trump's comments that Canada lives because of the U.S. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more.
Mark Carney gets friendly with Quebec City's famous snowman mascot, Bonhomme, but won't answer questions about the state of affairs with a less friendly partner, the United States. The Prime Minister gathers his cabinet after a global tour that saw a controversial new trade deal with China and a speech at the World Economic Forum that was widely lauded, except by Donald Trump.
Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that.
But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
A direct swipe back during an address with a more domestic focus on Canadian values and identity and the government's already announced agenda.
Now we need to execute fairly and fast.
The economy was the focus of day one cabinet meetings.
We're talking about affordability. We're talking about building Canada strong. We're talking about our sovereignty.
Ministers briefed by a number of special guests.
It's a huge responsibility to bring these voices to government, but what we're seeing is also a crisis. 2.2 million visits to food banks every single month.
If ministers are talking about the upcoming review of CUSMA, the North American Free Trade Deal, they aren't sharing updates publicly. Cabinet meetings continue Friday here inside the fortress once built for a feared attack that never came from the United States. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Quebec City.
And Trump lashed out at Prime Minister Mark Carney on social media. Last night, Trump posted this letter to Carney withdrawing Carney's invitation to join the Board of Peace on the future of Gaza, calling it the most prestigious board of leaders ever assembled. Canada previously said it would join in principle but not pay the billion-dollar fee for permanent membership. And Trump has revealed more details on the framework of a future deal over Greenland, and it's coming in 2 weeks. CTV's Judy Trin has more on what we know so far and what it could mean for our country.
The framework for negotiating the future of Greenland was drafted by the U.S. President and NATO's Secretary General.
We can do anything we want. We can do military. We can do anything we want. And it's being negotiated, and let's see what happens. I think it'll be good.
It could include more American bases and troops and drilling rights to critical minerals, all to prevent Russia and China from gaining a foothold in the Arctic.
When it comes to Greenland specifically, their economy, their military situation, Russia and China will never get access.
Denmark and the semi-autonomous territory of Greenland weren't part of the discussions and won't give up their sovereignty.
We have some clear red lines, what's been delivered to the president, and nothing about a deal on mineral resources or anything else. But that's something, the further discussions that we are willing to take.
The framework involves boosting security for the entire region by the 7 NATO allies in the Arctic Circle. After his meeting with the NATO chief, Prime Minister Mark Carney reiterated that Canada planned to quadruple defense spending over the next decade and invest in the Arctic with new radar technology and more soldiers on land, sea, and air. Military analysts say after Greenland, Trump could target Canada next.
We're seeing the playbook playing out right in front of our eyes here, and this is what we should expect to happen in Canada.
Carney's plan to quadruple military investments will cost about $150 billion annually, a steep price to defend sovereignty.
CTV's Judy Trin reporting in Ottawa. A quick break here. When we return on Your Morning Atlantic, we will have your Friday must-see moment from our colleagues at TSN, plus your business headlines. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Hello, welcome back. It's 6:24 and time to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello there, Kara Waglin inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. And for it, we head to the PGA Tour and the first round of the American Express. Jimmy Stanger on the 213-yard par 3 13th tee shot going in the drink. So he steps up against the tee. In the water he goes again. Third time's the charm, right? He doesn't like this shot. And for good reason. Because once again, let's go for a little dip in the water. Stanger shot a 6 over 9 on the hole. That is your must-see moment, or a moment to forget. Coming up tonight on TSN, the Raptors look for a third straight win as they continue their road trip against the Portland Trailblazers. Coverage for that one gets underway at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Now we'll take a look at our business headlines from our,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from our colleagues at BNN.
Don't panic. TikTok will keep entertaining Canadians, at least for now. A judge has shelved the order that demanded the social media company wind down its Canadian operation. There were security concerns about the parent company's links to the Chinese government. But there will be a new national security review of the company. TikTok says it has 14 million users in Canada. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.53. West Texas Intermediate down over $1 to 59.36. Western Canadian Select up just a bit to 45.43. And the TSX gained 151 points to close back above 33,000. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast as we enter into the weekend. For New Brunswick, a high of -4 degrees today. We do have sunshine, but also seeing a chance of flurries. -21 tonight, so that's when things really begin to cool down. On Saturday, -14 degrees is your daytime high. Sunshine expected. Same thing for Sunday. Sunny and cold. -14 degrees is your daytime high, and snow arrives into the evening. Nova Scotia looking at a high of -1 today. Scattered flurries across the province. -11 tonight. On Saturday, looking at a mix of sun and cloud with some isolated flurries for parts of the province. And then on Sunday, -12 degrees, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, snow into the evening, but we do have a bit of flurry activity into the afternoon. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of -3 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud with flurries into the evening, -15 on Saturday. Pretty much the same, a bit of sunshine and flurry activity. On Sunday, -15 with evening snow.
Coming up in this half hour, could you use a good laugh? Oh my gosh, The Office. Hilarious. Who couldn't? This is today's Move Morning Chat. We want to know what TV show has you laughing out loud. That's in 15 minutes on your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning. You made it to Friday. It is 6:31, Friday, January 23rd, and we're so happy that you could join us. Yeah, that's part of the Move Morning Chat coming up in less than 15 minutes, talking about TV shows that make you laugh. So start thinking about it. Let's see if we have anything in common for the conversation coming up, and text us your answers at 10400. It's a good reminder, too. You can send us a text anytime. If there's some news happening in your area, a traffic issue, a photo you'd like to share with us, let us know. Maybe even a segment that you would like to see on the show.
Love it. If you're familiar with the show The Office, we just showed the, like, it was a meet. As soon as he said welcome to Scranton, I'm like, oh my gosh, The Office.
You know where you are.
The music and then those shots are kind of shot in the winter, and it makes me think of like that just sort of what it's like to live in the Northern Hemisphere. And
right? Yeah.
Winter can be a bit of a challenge. But the extremes we're about to see over the next few days, this is unusual.
Yeah, so we have kind of 2 low pressure systems moving through the U.S., bringing extreme cold and heavy snowfall their way. It's going to start to move into our region. So we're seeing those colder temperatures heading our way with that colder air ushering through Atlantic Canada. And then we have another bigger system headed our way into Sunday night, bringing a snow event back around. So we'll keep tabs on that as well. But here's a live look at the Armdale Roundabout in Halifax. -3 degrees starting off your day, not factoring in the wind chill, which we'll take a look at in a second. So it's going to feel cold early this morning. Temperatures will warm up just a bit, but still going to remain cold as we inch towards tonight, where it gets even colder. -11 starting off your day in Fredericton with -5 in Charlottetown. -4 currently in Sydney with -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill early this morning. So areas feeling much colder than we're seeing in the current temperatures. There is that risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador as well. And a cold warning has been issued for Saturday morning until Sunday for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Also a cold warning in effect for parts of Labrador. Here's a look at our current system. Early this morning as the sun begins to rise, we will be seeing sunshine for parts of Atlantic Canada and a bit of flurry activity tracking across the region as well. In terms of the wind, we'll continue to pick up into the afternoon. As of right now, 41 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 28 into Grand Etang, 24 into Yarmouth, 20 in Moncton. A wind gust of 30 kilometers per hour in Moncton as well. We'll take a look at your weekend forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. The New Brunswick government is today expected to release its final report on a mystery brain disease that for years has baffled experts. Nearly 400 New Brunswick residents, mostly in the Acadian Peninsula and Moncton areas, have reported symptoms of what the province has deemed a, quote, neurological syndrome of unknown cause. First reported in 2021, symptoms include memory problems, balance issues, behavioral changes, muscle spasms, and bursts of intense pain. In 2022, health officials said experts found no evidence that a cluster of cases existed following an investigation of 48 patients, 46 of them referred by a single neurologist. First Nation chiefs across Atlantic Canada are calling for an urgent meeting with the federal government after 2 Indigenous men were fatally shot by RCMP officers over the past 2 weeks. A group representing Indigenous communities say they want to meet as soon as possible with federal ministers and senior leadership from the RCMP. The chiefs say they have serious concerns following the deaths of a man on Nuguktuk First Nation in New Brunswick and another on Samaganagati First Nation in Nova Scotia last week. Both cases are being investigated by the Serious Incident Response Team. Halifax's busy Quinpool Road is back open this morning. Last night, Halifax police had an area cordoned off, and Nova Scotia Power's outage map reported a significant outage for the Quinpool Road area. The call came in around 7:30 p.m. A large propane tank was found to be leaking on Lars Street. And experts didn't want to take any chances, so they cut the power. We're told some residents were evacuated and comfort buses brought in. The neighborhood is heavily populated by Dalhousie students. Power has since been restored. There is word Porter Airlines is closing its Halifax and Thunder Bay bases. QP says the decision will affect about 60 employees across both cities. The union says it got word of the news on the 14th and says the company is treating the matter as a group termination. Published reports say the company has decided maintaining hubs in Toronto and Ottawa is the most effective way to operate in the evolving industry. The family of a Cape Breton girl who was struck and killed by a vehicle while riding her bike is reacting to news the impaired driver behind the wheel has been granted full parole.
It's unbelievable. We fought for justice longer than he'd spent behind bars. She was not just a victim, she was a person, she was a child with so many dreams and wishes. Her life was cut way too short, and she deserves so much better.
Colin Tweedy has been granted full parole after spending under a year and a half in jail for the 2019 hit-and-run death of 10-year-old Talia Forrest. Tweedy was convicted of dangerous driving causing death, impaired driving causing death, and leaving the scene of an accident. He was sentenced to 4.5 years. Talia Forrest's cousin says the fact he's already out sends a bad message. In its written decision, the parole board stated that Tweedy had accepted full responsibility for the young girl's death and is considered a low risk to reoffend. Nova Scotia is getting tougher on illegal fishing.
Hopefully it's enough of a dollar value that deters illegal activity.
The province has added more than 30 new summary offenses that will see higher fines issued for fraud and falsifying records, with repeat offenders paying double the initial fine. That jumps from $5,000 to $10,000. And those caught buying or processing illegally caught seafood would face fines of $25,000 for first offense and double if caught again.
We're going to need to see those inspectors out there. The inspectors are going to actually have to lay charges. Once they lay those charges, then we'll begin to see this actually act as a deterrent.
The province believes that 30% of lobster landings go unreported, representing roughly $400 million in lost taxable revenue for the province. Finally, at the pumps, a small increase in gas overnight, but quite a big jump for diesel. In Nova Scotia Zone 1, gas increased by 0.6 cents. The minimum price now $1.33 a litre. A bigger increase for diesel, which increased by 7.2 cents. The minimum price now $1.67.3 a litre. In Prince Edward Island, similar story. Gas increased by 1.7 cents. The minimum price now $1.45 a liter. And diesel jumped by 7.4 cents. The minimum price now $1.79.7. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 0.2 of a cent, a small jump. The maximum price now $1.36.9. And diesel increased by 4.2 cents a liter. The maximum price now $1.76.6 a liter. That is your second look at your local news headlines on this Friday morning. So bit of the theme there, bit of a small increase for gas for the 3 maritime provinces, but really a big jump for diesel.
Interesting. Okay, we'll appreciate all of that. Let's move on with our robot exploration today, shall you? I kind of made a theme this half hour.
Yeah.
Robots are getting more and more human thanks to AI technology. So this week, the world's first lip-syncing robot was unveiled. What do you think?
So real. Why do they deceive me? I just want to feel.
No, thank you.
Right?
I'll pass.
So the robot's creators say they trained the robot with AI by having a prototype look into a mirror to learn basic face gestures. And next they had the robot watch YouTube videos, learning how humans move their face when they talk, sing, listen, and so on. Then they trained the robot to move its motors in response to the various sounds. So researchers say they are working on improving the technology to become even more realistic over time. Like that's
what a nightmare.
Yeah, but you see, like this, it is just a machine. But when it was moving its lip and kind of closing its eyes, like it becomes very human, and it's kind of scary.
Do you remember a few years ago, animation companies for film, they were creating, like the people that they made in these like 3D animated films were looking too lifelike, and it was creepy.
Yeah.
So they kind of had to scale back.
Well, this is the fear with this is the technology soon is going to get so realistic that it's going to become problematic, like determining what's real and what's not real. But
already online, it's hard to determine what's real and what's not.
Exactly.
I just assume everything's not real anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Safe way to be. Well, this is very real. Still ahead, we're going to have your entertainment headlines and also, too, coming up next. It is the Move Morning Chat. The Simpsons. Today, we want to know what TV show has you laughing out loud recently. Doesn't have to be a new one. We'll have that conversation next.
Happy Friday and welcome back. The time now is 6:43. We're taking a live look at Moncton. Cold this morning, -7 degrees. That's not even factoring in that wind chill we're seeing, but things are about to get a lot colder a little bit later on. So right now it is -11 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton, -5 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -4 in Sydney, -3 degrees early this morning in Halifax, -30 starting off your day in Labrador City, and -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A cold warning issued for parts of all 3 maritime provinces for Saturday morning until Sunday. We're expecting the wind chill to near -25 to -37. Also seeing a cold warning in effect for parts of Labrador Saturday extended till Tuesday with the wind chill between -40 to -50. Here's a look at our current forecast timeline. We are seeing sunshine as the sun begins to rise early in the morning. Looking at our mix of sun and cloud for many areas, we do have flurry activity for parts of Atlantic Canada as well. Into the afternoon, seeing a bit of flurry activity return. So looking at around a 60 to 30% chance of it happening. And that takes us into tonight. Things are cooling down. We're going to see that polar air move through the region, helping to create colder temperatures, even colder wind chill as well. Flurry activity remains, taking us into early Saturday morning. Sunshine, extremely cold, and a bit of flurry activity returns. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation across Nova Scotia, as well as into parts of Labrador and into Newfoundland. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at chance of flurries throughout your day today. Daytime highs will range from -10 to -2. For Prince Edward Island, much of the same, a mix of sun and cloud, though, and then seeing flurries arrive into the evening. Daytime highs between -5 to -3. Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs between -3 to +1. Scattered flurries expected throughout your day today. Same thing goes for the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at some scattered flurries and wind gusts of 50. Labrador City seeing lots of sunshine throughout your day, -17 degrees for Labrador City, and then 1 into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud with flurries into the afternoon and evening. Saturday's forecast, what you need to know, sunny but cold, and we are going to see a bit of flurry activity track across Atlantic Canada into Saturday night, much of the same. We will be seeing still lingering flurries taking us into Sunday. A sunny, cold day ahead, still holding on to a bit of flurry activity for parts of Cape Breton Island and Newfoundland. And then into Sunday night, we have another system making its way over. Could be a significant snowfall event, so keep in mind the weather forecast into the weekend as well. That will take us into Monday morning with snow as well. Here's a look at your Move Morning Chat.
Good morning. We got the giggles on this Friday. We want to know, what is a TV show that made you laugh out loud? Besides this one, because I know we've had a few live bloopers on there. Aaron and Peter, what are you watching and laughing at?
You know what? I'm so going old school. For some reason, I'm watching all these shows that bring me comfort lately, like Friends. And most recently, I cannot stop watching The Simpsons. I used to watch The Simpsons so much as a kid growing up, but I'm going through a phase where every night before I go to bed, I'm watching an episode or two. I forgot how funny The Simpsons is. I mean, Homer, everything he says, I am actually belly laughing at his jokes. So anyways, Simpsons is my comfort show right now. It is the latest show I've been watching that's making me laugh out loud. It's nothing new, but it is so good.
And I'm going to mention something. You just mentioned bloopers. I won't prolong this, but I'll tell you, watching TV anchor bloopers is one of my favorite things in life.
Yeah, same.
But for me, it is again something that goes back like 20 years to Arrested Development. And you can stream it, but we happen to have the DVDs of the entire seasons of Arrested Development. And it is hilarious. And I'll go back and watch those to laugh out loud for sure.
Oh my goodness, I'm dying of laughter because I was going to say that one is one of my favorite shows. Kyle and I rewatch it every year. But I'll say The Office, because that's another one we rewatch every year.
So good.
Just the audacity of Michael is just so good. So good.
Oh, what a terrible boss he is, but it's hilarious to watch, if not sometimes really awkward. You all have great choices. I haven't watched Arrested Development.
Arrested Development. You need to.
Add it to the list. I'm going to go with a show that's newer, Abbott Elementary, which if you haven't watched it, it is so funny. It's about these elementary school teachers in Philadelphia, and it's done very much like The Office style. It is brilliant, and Principal Coleman has to be one of my favorite characters. She's always dropping the most iconic lines. Perhaps not the best principal. She might have to reevaluate her priorities, but it is amazing to watch, and it has a lot of heart. But I genuinely will laugh out loud every single episode.
That's a good
I
one,
love
too.
it.
So fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's always money in the banana stand. If you know, you know. We want to know what show is making you laugh, and tell us and send it to us via text. Text us 10400. What is a show that's made you laugh out loud? Welcome back. The time now is 6:52. Let's head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
Harry Styles has announced his global residence tour. The former One Direction singer will play 50 shows in 7 cities from May to December. 30 of the shows will be at New York's Madison Square Garden from August to October. That's his only tour stop in the U.S. It's all in support of his 4th studio album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, which comes out March 6th.
You twins? Nah, we cousins.
Sinners scored the most Oscar nominations Thursday. The blues music vampire horror movie earned 16 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture. One battle after another got the second most nominations with 13. Hollywood's biggest night will be on Sunday, March 15th on ABC, hosted again this year by Conan O'Brien.
Well, the biggest surprise last year for me was a nice surprise. And that's that I had a good time. I enjoyed it. Working with my team, we came up with a lot of ideas that I wanted to do. I was looking forward to trying them out in front of people. And so that made the experience fun for me.
Happy birthday to Law & Order SVU star Mariska Hargitay. She is 62 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Olivia Rubin, ABC News.
What is she having? What is she eating?
Exactly. I want that as well.
62?
Incredible.
She looks like 32.
I know. I just want to mention this is a huge year for the horror genre. To be recognized 16 nominations, incredible. Horror is often looked over, especially by the Academy. I think only like 4 to 5 horror films have ever won an award.
Guess what won Best Picture in 1996 because I looked it up?
You know. Silence of the Lambs.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of your faves.
Can be done.
Exactly. Very exciting. All right, it's Braille Literacy Month, and a Halifax nail salon is actually raising money and awareness.
CTV's Mike Lamb takes us to the 10 spot, where a special fundraiser is right at your fingertips.
Today we are launching the Braille Nails campaign. So CNIB, in partnership with the 10 Spot, have this month-long campaign to celebrate Braille Literacy Month. Between now and February 15th, you can come get a personalized Braille manicure, and proceeds will be going toward CNIB. Braille Literacy Month is a way to celebrate Braille and to try to increase education and awareness around the importance of it still today.
Hands wave, hands shake, hands point, snap, swipe, and fidget, and hands read.
Braille is one of the ways that many people who are blind read and write. And although we do have wonderful pieces of technology, which are great, it doesn't replace Braille. Just as we encourage, children who are sighted to learn to read and write, we want to do the same with children with sight loss as well. So ensuring that they're getting that access as well and able to have some more independence and accessibility. You can come and get a personalized Braille manicure, and it's really a fun way to start conversations and increase awareness about Braille, its importance, celebrating it, and really conversations as well around creating a more accessible world for all.
CNIB reached out to the 10 Spot, went through the process of a few different ways to be able to create Braille on our clients' nails. A lot of our technicians know how to do nail art really well, but this was a new adventure for them. And we learned so much about how to speak and not be afraid to ask questions around blindness, and Braille in particular is a really important way to communicate.
Starting from my right to left, it spells out love always. And so I can run my fingertips across it and actually feel the Braille bumps there. It's a really neat tactile experience and just a fun conversation starter.
What a great idea. Thank you to CTV's Mike Lamb for that piece. Happening now in local news this morning, the New Brunswick government is today expected to release its final report on a mystery brain disease that for years has baffled experts. Plus, there is word Porter Airlines is closing its Halifax and Thunder Bay bases. QP says the decision will affect about 60 employees across both cities. And at the pumps this morning, a small increase in the price of gas overnight, but quite a big jump for what you'll pay for diesel. Those details coming up next in your local news headlines. But first, it's a look at the weekend forecast with Latavia.
Thanks, Amanda. Taking a look at New Brunswick first, -4 degrees is your daytime high, seeing sunshine, but also a chance of flurries. Cooling down, though, -21 tonight. Saturday, -14 degrees, sunshine, and going to continue to be cold into Sunday. Sunny skies with snow arriving into the evening. Nova Scotia looking at a high of -1, a bit of sunny breaks, but scattered flurries expected throughout the day. On Saturday, -13 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud with isolated flurries for parts of the province. And then on Sunday, much of the same expected, a bit of sunshine and flurry activity. Snow arrives into the evening with a high of -12. For Prince Edward Island, -3 degrees today, a mix of sun and cloud with evening flurries. Cold on Saturday, -15 with a mix of sun and cloud and scattered flurries. And then on Sunday, -15 degrees yet again, sunny with evening snow.
Friday, January 23rd, today on your Morning Atlantic. The New Brunswick government today will release its final report on a mystery brain disease. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And a big decision. This year's Giller Prize winner will be decided by independent booksellers across the country. We'll chat with the folks from Charlottetown and Halifax's Bookmark a little later this half hour. Those stories and more coming up on the Friday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday, 7:01. I have to say, ladies, time keeps flying by.
Yeah.
And I say that.
You looked at me directly in the eyes.
Amanda thinks it's hilarious. I always say that. But anyways, I have a reason this time.
Yeah. Okay.
My cousin's wife had sent me a meme yesterday, a video, saying that 20 years ago, on January 20th, 2026,
I know what you're going to say.
The High School Musical came out. I was like, I'm so old. I can't believe it. 20 years ago.
20
that also
years.
hit me as a surprise. 20 years for High School Musical. Yeah, wild.
That was my whole personality for years.
Really?
You had the pillow.
I had
right?
the cutout from the movie theater for the last one.
Wow. So what aspect of the movie got you going?
I love musicals, first of all.
Okay.
I always watch a good musical.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just loved it. They were
awesome.
young, it was fresh, it was fun. The guys were gorgeous.
They were.
That's a lot of fun.
Zac Efron, geez, when he emerged playing basketball with he had the Justin Bieber hair at the time.
Yeah, launched his career.
Yes.
We'll quickly move on with more on the show, but since you brought it up, let's reflect for a moment. When I saw the images from 20 years ago, at the time it seemed really relevant and but it did look 20 years old. Do you know what I mean? Like the hairstyles and kind of just like the earnestness of the way they were singing and
the
Zac
Y2K
Efron.
fashion.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that was a long time ago, but it doesn't feel like it's a long time ago.
No, when she told me, I'm like, how dare you? First of all, she's way younger than me, but I was like, how dare you? I think she was like, I was 10. I'm like, man, I was in my teens. Leave me alone.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? We're all in this together.
We are. Wildcats, here we go.
Exactly. Lots of seagulls in this shot today. We love how much they're enjoying the morning.
You know what, Crystal? They're escaping. They're escaping the cold that is to come. I'm just kidding. Taking a look at St. John's, it's -1 starting off your day. You're going to see sunshine actually throughout your day before a chance of flurries moves in into the afternoon. Cold for parts of Atlantic Canada starting off this morning. -11 in Fredericton, -5 in Charlottetown, -3 degrees early this morning in Halifax with -4 in Sydney, much colder in Labrador City with -30. Factor in that wind chill, going to feel a lot cooler this morning for many areas across Atlantic Canada. There is that risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador. A cold warning now issued for parts of all 3 maritime provinces for this weekend until Sunday, and then for Labrador, also seeing a cold warning for Saturday until Tuesday. Here's a look at our current satellite and radar. Seeing sunshine as the sun begins to rise for parts of Atlantic Canada, also seeing a few flurries return across the region. Into the current wind for the maritime region, 41 kilometers per hour for sustained wind this morning in North Cape, 28 into Grand Etang, 24 in Yarmouth, 20 in Moncton. 1 wind gust to notify you of, getting up to 30 kilometers per hour in Moncton. We'll take a look at your weekend forecast in just a bit, but first we'll look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. The New Brunswick government is today expected to release its final report on a mystery brain disease that for years has baffled experts. Nearly 400 New Brunswick residents, mostly in the Acadian Peninsula and Moncton areas, have reported symptoms of what the province has deemed a, quote, neurological syndrome of unknown cause. First reported in 2021, symptoms include memory problems, balance issues, behavioral changes, muscle spasms, and bursts of intense pain. In 2022, health officials said experts found no evidence that a cluster of cases existed following an investigation of 48 patients, 46 of them referred by a single neurologist. Halifax's busy Quinpool Road is back open this morning. Last night, Halifax police had an area cordoned off, and Nova Scotia Power's outage map reported a significant outage for the Quinpool Road area. The call came in around 7:30 p.m. A large propane tank was found to be leaking on Large Street, and experts didn't want to take any chances, so they cut power. We're told some residents were evacuated and comfort buses were called in. The neighborhood is heavily populated by university students. Power has since been restored. First Nation chiefs across Atlantic Canada are calling for an urgent meeting with the federal government after 2 Indigenous men were fatally shot by RCMP officers over the past 2 weeks. A group representing Indigenous communities say they want to meet as soon as possible with federal ministers and senior leadership from the RCMP. The chiefs say they have serious concerns following the deaths of a man on Nuguktuk First Nation in New Brunswick and another on Samaganagati First Nation in Nova Scotia last week. Both cases are being investigated by the Serious Incident Response Team. There is word Porter Airlines is closing its Halifax and Thunder Bay bases. CUPE says the decision will affect about 60 employees across both cities. The union says it got word of the news on the 14th and says the company is treating the matter as a group termination. Published reports say the company has decided maintaining hubs in Toronto and Ottawa is the most effective way to operate in the evolving industry. At the pumps this morning, there was a small increase in the price of gas overnight, but a much bigger jump for diesel. Beginning with Nova Scotia, Zone 1, gas increased by 0.6 cents. The minimum price now $1.33 a litre. A bigger increase for diesel, which increased by 7.2 cents. The minimum price $1.67.3. In PEI, gas increased by 1.7 cents. The minimum price $1.45 a litre. And diesel jumped by 7.4 cents. The minimum price $1.79.7. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 0.2 cents. The maximum price now $1.36.9. And diesel increased by 4.2 cents a litre. The maximum price $1.76.6 a litre. The Horizon Health Network held a board meeting in Moncton yesterday afternoon, and to no one's surprise, the topics of emergency room wait times and overcrowding were front and center.
I really wanted to emphasize to the public that our healthcare system is truly in a crisis.
Horizon's president and CEO is deeply concerned about some facilities operating over capacity every day. The end result includes the recent high-profile case of a parking garage being used as a unit at the Chalmers in Fredericton.
And asking our staff and physicians to work with those types of pressures, as well as having the concerns with regard to patients and families that are needing to be situated in hallways and alcoves and so forth, is just simply a deplorable situation.
On the upside, Horizon says it's successfully recruited 130 doctors and more than 400 nurses, but officials admit it's still short of the goal. Finally, for $30 million US, you could sit on your own throne as the Prince of Bel-Air. The house made famous by the hit Will Smith sitcom, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, it's up for sale. Look at the decorations. But we got to be honest with you, buyer beware, the 6-bedroom, 10,000 square foot mansion is actually, it's located in the prestigious Los Angeles neighborhood of Brentwood, not nearby Bel-Air.
Nope. Ooh.
To be clear.
Well, it's still an iconic home, lots of property, but the taxes are ridiculous on this thing.
Oh, yeah. I don't kind of like that they've modernized it either. It's kind of like the Home Alone house.
Oh, I know.
Well, they completely gutted it and changed it. I was like, how dare you? With houses like this, you should keep them the same.
Well,
you're buying it for the nostalgia, aren't you?
I would imagine if you have all that money and you can afford a home like that, wouldn't you be so aware of something like that you wouldn't want to make major changes?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
don't have that kind of money, so I guess I can't really weigh in on that.
Let's move on to another science-y thing, but this is so wonderful. It's a cow using tools, and it's sending the science community into a tizzy. She's so pretty. Oh! So this is Veronica, the 13-year-old Swiss brown cow. She's clever enough to use his broom to scratch wherever she itches.
Good for you, girl.
So, I know she's, well, first of all, a Swiss brown cow, aren't they the most beautiful cows?
Well, how now?
We need to get, exactly. But, okay, she picks it up with her tongue, and then she scratches herself. This is, she'll use, and they'll show later, like this is where she's got a big itch, but if she has a little itch, she'll whip it around and just use the handle end to get a specific spot. She's really smart. And scientists say this is, there we go, she's getting right in there.
Get in there,
Scientists say this is the first evidence of cattle using tools. There she is, the many moods of Veronica. And they're wondering if cows can do much more than we give them credit for.
Apparently.
Oh.
What? A girl.
What a smarty.
She's like, I don't need a man. I can itch my own back.
Exactly. Also, I want to get Veronica a really nice collar with a beautiful bell on it.
Oh my gosh, I know. Like, look at that with the mountains in the background, beautiful field.
Oh, what's that? The boss says I have to go to the Alps where Veronica lives and do an exclusive.
Report live.
On my way, boss.
Just pick us up some souvenirs.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Ring the cowbell when you're there. All right, still ahead, we're going to have a look at your national news headlines, and Latavia has the latest look at the Friday forecast. It is going to get cold tonight and cold for the weekend, but Get ready. That's not even the top headline when it comes to the weather, right? We got another system Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Possible school closures on Monday. Who's to say? The forecast for today and the weekend is coming up right after this. Good morning, Hampton. We'll be right back.
Happy Friday, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 7:14. We're taking a live look at McAdam. It is a cloudy start to the day. You will be seeing sunshine, though, with a chance of some isolated flurries expected throughout the day, starting off at -14, so quite a cold start to the day across parts of the region. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. As you can see here, -12 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, -6 early this morning in Charlottetown, -4 in both Halifax and Sydney, -30 degrees into Labrador City, and -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a cold warning issued for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Saturday morning until Sunday, we're expecting the wind chill to near -25 and -37. For Labrador, we're looking at a cold warning as well, Saturday until Tuesday, wind chill between -40 to -50. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. We are going to see sunshine early this morning across much of Atlantic Canada. Still seeing some flurries tracking across the region as well. Into the afternoon, much of the same. We'll start to see either a 30 to 60% chance of flurry activity across the region, taking us into tonight. Cold air moving in, called a deep freeze really, into the weekend. We are going to see really cold temperatures. Factor in that wind chill, feeling even colder. We do have a risk of frostbite for parts of the region as well. Into Saturday morning, much of the same, a bit of sunshine, but also flurry activity remaining. If you're wondering about our snowfall outlook, seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Nova Scotia, Labrador, and into Newfoundland. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick. Looking at flurries expected throughout your day today. Daytime highs between -10 to -3. Wind quite light out of the west, 20 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, looking at a mix of sun and cloud throughout your day. Flurries arriving into the evening. Daytime highs between -5 to -3. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, also going to see pretty cool temperatures for a daytime high, as around -3 to +1. Scattered flurries expected right across the province today. Also going to see wind out of the west, 30 gusts into 50, with daytime highs between -3 to +2. For Labrador City, lots of sunshine for you as well today. -17 degrees is your daytime high. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. Flurries arrive into the late afternoon and evening. Saturday's forecast, sunny, cold, and a bit of flurry activity across parts of Atlantic Canada. Into Saturday night, temperatures drop yet again, taking us into Sunday's forecast. We are expecting not only for it to be cold, a bit of sunshine and flurry activity. We have another low making its way over. It's going to bring snow into Sunday night across the region, taking us into Monday morning. So this is what you should be watching out for. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thanks, Latavia. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in Quebec City, continuing to meet with cabinet ministers. Yesterday, he addressed Canadians, standing firmly against U.S. President Donald Trump's comments that Canada lives because of the U.S. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Mark Carney gets friendly with Quebec City's famous snowman mascot, Bonhomme, but won't answer questions about the state of affairs with a less friendly partner, the United States. The Prime Minister gathers his cabinet after a global tour that saw a controversial new trade deal with China and a speech at the World Economic Forum that was widely lauded, except by Donald Trump.
Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that.
But Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
A direct swipe back during an address with a more domestic focus on Canadian values and identity and the government's already announced agenda.
Now we need to execute fairly and fast.
The economy was the focus of day one cabinet meetings.
We're talking about affordability. We're talking about building Canada strong. We're talking about our sovereignty.
Ministers briefed by a number of special guests.
It's a huge responsibility to bring these voices to government, but what we're seeing is also a crisis. 2.2 million visits to food banks every single month.
If ministers are talking about the upcoming review of CUSMA, the North American Free Trade Deal, they aren't sharing updates publicly. Cabinet meetings continue Friday here inside the fortress once built for a feared attack that never came from the United States. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Quebec City.
Thank you, Abigail. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, Crystal will have a conversation with the owners of Bookmark in Charlottetown about being part of the Giller Prize jury. That's coming up next.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back at 7:22. Canada's most prestigious literary award for fiction, the Giller Prize, is shaking up its jury selection process this year. 7 people from 5 bookstores across the country will select the long list of contenders before whittling it down to a short list and finally choosing a winner. Joining us now from PER are 2 of those jurors, Dan McDonald and Laurie Chevry from Bookmark, which has locations in Halifax, Fredericton, and Charlottetown. Good morning.
Good morning.
So exciting that you're going to be on the jury for the Giller. Let's start with you, Dan. Tell us, how did you find out you'd be part of the jury?
Well, out of the blue, back in August of 2025, we received an email from Ilana Ravanovich, the executive director of the Giller Prize, asking us if we would have a conversation with her. And we said yes, and we had that conversation. It was all around shaking up the jury,
Yeah, I'll hop in.
And we agreed to go on the as one of the booksellers.
Well, it's wonderful that both of you get to be on the jury, because that means we have 2 voices representing Atlantic Canada, and I know that really the people represent the entire geography of Canada. Laurie, how do you feel to have this big responsibility ahead of you?
I mean, it's an honor. And when we heard they were going in the direction of independent booksellers, I definitely wanted Bookmark to be part of that, because I feel we really champion the region and we love championing Canadian authors. So if they were going to have independent booksellers, I really wanted someone from this region and that to be us. So we quickly agreed.
You jumped at it. Now, someone close to me was once on the jury. It is a huge responsibility. You get to your, I guess in your case, business or home, boxes and boxes of books. Would you have to read them all in a fair way to judge the winner? Are you both up for all of this reading?
That's what we do. I mean, to be told I could just read, well, I also have a day job that apparently I have to keep doing, but I mean, that I can read, that's wonderful. And all I can hope is that I've already read quite a few of them, because it does go from October of 2025 to September 2026, the books that were published during that time. So maybe we've read a chunk of them already.
Dan, I'm curious, because you've been in the business for a minute or two. Like when you read a book, how do you know it's a good book or not?
Well, for me, there's got to be a good story, and when you can't put the book down, when you stay up till the wee hours of the morning reading a book, that's generally a good sign that it's a good book. So it's got a good story. Writing that takes your breath away is part of it. Stuff that you want to write down and remember, because it's just so well said. I like the phrase, the economy of words.
Yeah.
That does it for me.
Well,
but it's also a story that's timely for the world that we live in. I think that's important.
I know themes and the turn of phrase, everything's so important. Well, it's wonderful that you are going to be representing Atlantic Canada on the Giller Prize jury. Best of luck to both of you. And we'll be following along on your journey. We'll look forward to seeing who actually ends up being the winner later on this year. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Happy reading. You'll be doing a lot of it. Now we'll turn our attention over to Latavia.
Thanks, Crystal. Taking a look first at New Brunswick for a 3-day forecast. -4 degrees today. Looking at sunshine and isolated flurries. Dropping down tonight to -21. On Saturday, cold and sunny. And same thing goes for Sunday, but we do have snow arriving into the evening. For Nova Scotia, -1 degree today. We are looking at sunshine and some scattered flurries. On Saturday, -13 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, isolated flurries for parts of the province. And on Sunday, -12 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud, snow arriving into the evening. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of -3. We have sunshine today, evening flurries. On Saturday, -15 degrees, much of the same sunshine and scattered flurries across the island. Sunday, sunny and cold, evening snow.
Coming up this half hour, when should you consult a lawyer, especially if you're injured? We're having that conversation in our Legal Insiders segment in 15 minutes here on Your Morning Atlantic.
Hello. You made it through the halfway mark of the show already. Good for you. And it's a Friday.
It is.
It's great. Let's enjoy this moment of relative calm before the weather gets absolutely wild and woolly. Basically, this weather is so extreme, Latavia, I feel like calling my lawyer and complaining.
Right? What can you do for this situation? I know we're already even talking about, okay, are we going to be like sleeping at the station overnight on Sunday so we can be here for work Monday morning?
It's possible. It's been done in the past.
It has been.
We will be following the details as we get closer and closer over the weekend. But what can you tell us today?
Well, in terms of that snowfall event taking place Sunday night into Monday, could get up to 15 to 20 centimeters of accumulation. That's on top of what we already have on the ground, right?
That's true.
So it could be a significant snowfall event, but we're going to continue to track it into the weekend because it's still quite a bit away. But in terms of tonight, we do have that deep freeze, so cold air, yes. It's taking me back to my days in Saskatchewan, just to say the least. It's going to be quite cold.
The coldest we've had yet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
and then
my
you factor in that wind chill, there's a risk of frostbite. It's going to feel quite cold into tonight.
Well, the skating will be incredible.
I know. Look at the lighting there, too. It's so beautiful.
Bundle up.
It is cold, though, this morning, -13 degrees in Fredericton. You will be seeing a bit of sunshine, but also isolated flurries expected right across the province today. As of right now, it is -6 degrees heading outdoors in Charlottetown, -4 in both Halifax and Sydney, -26 degrees over in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and -6 in Gander. Taking a look at that wind chill, so it is feeling colder early this morning, something to keep in mind when you are heading out. We are seeing a risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador. A cold warning issued for Saturday morning until Sunday for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Also seeing a cold warning in effect for parts of Labrador until Tuesday. Here's a look at the current satellite and radar. Seeing sunshine as the sun begins to rise for parts of Atlantic Canada. Also seeing a few flurries tracking across the region. In terms of the wind, starting off a bit light, will continue to pick up into the afternoon. As of right now, 41 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 35 into Grand Etang, 30 in Yarmouth. Wind gusts of up to 54 kilometers per hour in North Cape and 46 in Yarmouth. We'll take a look at your weekend forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
The New Brunswick government is today expected to release its final report on a mysterious brain disease that for years has baffled experts. Nearly 400 New Brunswick residents, mostly in the Acadian Peninsula and Moncton areas, have reported symptoms of what the province has deemed a, quote, neurological syndrome of unknown cause. First reported in 2021, symptoms include memory problems, balance issues, behavioral changes, muscle spasms, and bursts of intense pain. In 2022, health officials said experts found no evidence that a cluster of cases existed, following an investigation of 48 patients, 46 of them referred by a single neurologist. First Nation chiefs across Atlantic Canada are calling for an urgent meeting with the federal government after 2 Indigenous men were fatally shot by RCMP officers over the past 2 weeks. A group representing Indigenous communities say they want to meet as soon as possible with federal ministers and senior leadership from the RCMP. The chiefs say they have serious concerns following the deaths of a man on Nuguktuk First Nation in New Brunswick and another on Samaganagati First Nation in Nova Scotia last week. Both cases are being investigated by the Serious Incident Response Team. There's word Porter Airlines is closing its Halifax and Thunder Bay bases. QP says the decision will affect about 60 employees across both cities. The union says it got word of the news on the 14th and says the company is treating the matter as a group termination. Published reports say the company has decided maintaining hubs in Toronto and Ottawa is the most effective way to operate in the evolving industry. Halifax's busy Quinpool Road is back open this morning. Last night, Halifax police had an area cordoned off, and Nova Scotia Power's outage map reported a significant outage for the Quinpool Road area. The call came in around 7:30 p.m. A large propane tank was found to be leaking on Larche Street, and experts didn't want to take any chances, so they cut off power. We're told some residents were evacuated and comfort buses were brought in. The neighborhood is heavily populated by university students. Power has since been restored. At the pumps, a small increase in the price of gas overnight, but quite a big jump for what you'll pay for diesel. Beginning with Nova Scotia, the Halifax area, gas increased by 0.6 cents. The minimum price now $1.33 a litre. A bigger increase for diesel, it jumped by 7.2 cents. The minimum price $1.67.3. In Prince Edward Island, gas increased by 1.7 cents. The minimum price $1.45 a litre. And diesel jumped by 7.4 cents. The minimum price $1.79.7. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 0.2 cents. The maximum price $1.36.9. And diesel increased by 4.2 cents a litre. The maximum price now $1.76.6. The family of a Cape Breton girl who was struck and killed by a vehicle while riding her bike is reacting to news the impaired driver behind the wheel has been granted full parole.
It's unbelievable. We fought for justice longer than he'd spent behind bars. She was not just a victim, she was a person, she was a child with so many dreams and wishes. Her life was cut way too short, and she deserves so much better.
Colin Tweedy has been granted full parole after spending under 1.5 years in jail for the 2019 hit-and-run death of 10-year-old Talia Forrest. Tweedy was convicted of dangerous driving causing death, impaired driving causing death, and leaving the scene of an accident. He was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. Talia Forrest's cousin says the fact he is out already sends a bad message. In its written decision, the parole board stated that Tweedy had accepted full responsibility for the young girl's death and is considered a low risk to reoffend. Finally, we are exactly 2 weeks away from the start of the 2026 Winter Olympics. The event is being co-hosted, of course, in 2 Italian cities. And here's a look at one of those cities from the sky, Cortina. Take a look. Look at this beautiful drone footage over the city showing this alpine skiing center and the Olympic Ice Stadium. Cortina previously hosted the Olympic Games back in, any guesses?
Nope. Cortina?
Yeah.
No idea.
1956.
Okay.
The games are set to kick off February 6th, which, as mentioned, exactly 2 weeks from now.
Wow.
Hard to believe, but
Yay.
what a place to have that event. You can see why, if they haven't had the Olympics there since '56, they've had to make some upgrades.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
So cool. Wow.
Gorgeous.
Really cool. That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So we're thinking of all the Canadian athletes who represent the country.
Great way to kind of just fill the chilly months or chilly hours in the winter in February. Looking forward to it. Okay, guess what? We want to remind you about our Move Morning Chat question today. We want to know what shows make you laugh out loud. Doesn't have to be a new one, can be an old one. Text us at 10400. Let us know what is the TV show that had you laughing out loud recently. So to remind our viewers, in case they missed it in the 6 o'clock hour, what's your show that makes
Abbott
you laugh?
Elementary.
That's a great show.
Love
it's
Abbott
heartwarming
Elementary.
too.
It can be heartwarming. I love that show.
What about you?
For me, it was The Office.
Oh my gosh, that show is hilarious.
So good.
I should rewatch that.
Yeah.
And then finally for me, I think it's The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I don't know if you've watched it, but it's on Netflix. Hilarious.
Yeah?
Like laugh out loud hilarious.
I watched like the first episode and then I never went back, so I should try it again.
Oh no, it's really funny. I've watched it like 4 times, the whole series. Anyway, because it's heartwarming and hilarious. But something that might warm your heart is a new contest we have to tell you about. I love this. CTV, along with our partners at Kent Building Supplies, want you to enter the Kent Big Bucket giveaway. So once a month, we're going to reveal a different prize inside this big bucket. You've got a chance to win it. This month, the winner gets to choose between a Frigidaire induction range with built-in pizza oven, whether you want electric, induction, or gas version. Your choice. It's worth over $2,000. So enter, head to our contest webpage, or you can use this QR code to get there. The contest closes this Saturday for this prize. We're going to announce the winner next Friday on January 30th. So good luck. And if you win, Save us some pizza.
Oh, what a great prize. No wonder you need such a big bucket.
It's so
for
cool,
it.
the big bucket, too. I love it.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, we're halfway through the show. Lots more to come around. Latavia has the latest look at the cold forecast and the next storm system headed our way Sunday night. Also, too, it's time for our Legal Insider. Today, we're looking at when you might want to consult a lawyer, especially if you're injured. Stay with us. That conversation's coming up next at 7:40.
Welcome back. The time now is 7:43. We're taking a live look at Charlottetown. Going to be seeing lots of sunshine throughout your day. Currently -6 degrees as you head outdoors, and we are going to see temperatures continue to cool down as we get towards tonight. As of right now, -13 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, -4 starting off your day in both Halifax and Sydney, -30 degrees, so much colder over in Labrador City, and -1 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. Cold warning issued for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. This is for Saturday morning until Sunday, expecting the wind chill to range from -25 to -37. As well as a cold warning in effect for parts of Labrador Saturday until Tuesday, wind chill between -40 to -50. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. So we are seeing sunshine early this morning as the sun begins to rise, but also have a bit of flurry activity tracking across parts of Atlantic Canada. Into the afternoon, we will be seeing around a 30 to 60% chance of flurries for parts of Atlantic Canada, taking us into the evening. Much of the same is expected, but temperatures cooling right down. We do have that deep freeze, so that polar air moving through, causing really cold temperatures and even colder wind chill. And that will continue into the weekend, so cold and sunny day ahead on Saturday. Also seeing a bit of flurry activity continuing to track across parts of the region. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters across Nova Scotia, parts of Labrador, as well as into Newfoundland. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, also seeing isolated flurries throughout your day. Daytime highs will range from -10 to -3. For Prince Edward Island, lots of sunshine throughout your day. Flurries arrive into the evening with highs between -5 to -3, wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, we'll see some sunny breaks, but also looking at scattered flurries expected throughout your day, with daytime highs between -3 to +1. For the rest of Nova Scotia, scattered flurries as well, with highs between -3 to +2. Labrador City, lots of sunshine throughout your day, although cold. -17 degrees is your daytime high. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland. Looking at a mix of sun and cloud, flurries into the afternoon. Saturday's forecast, cold, a bit of sunshine and flurry activity still tracking across parts of the region. Into Saturday night, we start to see those flurries clear out a bit, but we're still holding on to flurry activity for Cape Breton Island, parts of both Newfoundland and Labrador. Into Sunday morning, rather, another sunny, cold day ahead. Still a bit of flurry activity, but Sunday night is what we're looking towards. And make sure to check that forecast into the weekend, because Sunday, we have another low pressure system headed our way, bringing snow Sunday night into Monday, and we are expecting around 15 to 25 centimeters of accumulation. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Crystal.
It's 7:46 and time for our Legal Insider segment with our partners at the Mike Murphy Law Group. Now this time we're answering one of your most common questions about hiring a lawyer and when do you need a lawyer and how to find the right one. Here to answer some of those questions is Aidan Murphy, a managing partner with the Mike Murphy Law Group. So this could be like a multi-part series.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
So let's get into specifically what kind of law do you do?
I practice predominantly in criminal law now, but I sort of balance between worlds. I have a healthy amount of civil litigation, mostly in personal injury, but predominantly now in criminal in Halifax.
Okay, so right after this segment, basically, you're going to be heading into the courts.
Yeah, I have an appearance this morning.
So in this case, you might be the lawyer that if we get the one phone call and we're in jail, you're the person we would call in this case.
Yeah, sometimes really, really early hours. I'll get those calls and you're getting out of bed and you're trying to give the best advice you can, but yeah, that demands a lot of time.
For sure. I mean, we're making light of it, but it's a very serious situation. So if somebody was in a situation where they needed to engage the services of a criminal lawyer, I mean, how would they go about engaging your services?
So it's a bit different for criminal than it is for other cases. We've talked about a personal injury, and there you have a bit of time to look around and choose the person that you think is best for your case. In criminal, it's sort of, you know, something happens and you need to respond to it. And so sometimes that period where you're looking is a lot shorter. And in that case, I mean, you can get, like I said, calls at all hours of the night when there's been an incident and you need someone right then and there. And then there's duty counsel if you can't find someone immediately at the hour you need them. But for criminal, it's once that initial incident has occurred and someone needs a lawyer, they'll start calling around pretty quickly. For injury, they might take a little bit longer and find someone that is best for them.
Interesting. All right, you mentioned injury. This is a very slippery and icy time of year when slip and fall accidents are common. When do you know that it's appropriate to reach out to a lawyer?
So generally, I mean, if you've been injured and you don't think it's your fault, most people will figure out that's the best time to reach out to a lawyer. In terms of slip and falls in Atlantic Canada, the law on slip and falls is long, but generally it comes down now to the conclusion that businesses owe folks a duty of care to keep their premises reasonably safe in the winter. And the caveat on that is that in Atlantic Canada, courts take a pretty common sense approach to what that means. And there's tons of decisions where the judge will say, everyone knows in Atlantic Canada that we have some pretty rough winters. Right. And so sometimes in those cases, it will come down to whether or not there is some kind of system in place that the property owner has to salt their walkway or clear their driveway or whatever the case is. But generally, as far as your question goes, and when do people contact a lawyer there? Whenever you think that you've suffered an injury and it wasn't your fault, normally that's when people start to approach a lawyer. All right, we almost have no more time to talk, Aiden, but I'll quickly mention, if you did make that call, let's just say they did reach out to your law firm, what happens at that point? Yeah. Somebody picks up the phone and they say, tell me what's going on. Do they take the case immediately? Is there a bit of a period where you hash it out? I mean, this is what I'm asking. In most cases, at least for personal injury, when someone makes the call, that first question that the lawyer is asking themselves is, okay, is this person at fault, or is it the business or whoever is being or potentially being sued? That's the first question they're going to ask. And then you ask, well, what are their injuries? And that's sort of a different question. As long as you've called a law firm that handles the case that you are bringing to them, and that's, like we said, I mean, it's like bringing your car, for an auto body repair. You might want to bring it to a specialist rather than, someone that might change tires. And as long as you're bringing it to the right place and those questions are answered in the proper direction for that lawyer who's taking in the call, usually that case will get started pretty quickly. There's some gray area there where cases you have to take a day or two to consider, but normally they'll get back to you pretty quick. Well, Aiden, we really appreciate you answering these questions for us today. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. And we just want to remind you, too, that this segment does not constitute legal advice, that you should reach out to a lawyer if you have any kind of legal questions and take the matters to them. It's 7:51. We'll turn our attention over to Amanda.
This edition of Legal Insiders, brought to you by the Mike Murphy Law Group.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Health and medical news now. Health Canada is warning consumers of counterfeit versions of Ozempic and Mounjaro being sold in various retailers nationwide. It is one of the topics in your health. In a public advisory, the health agency says unauthorized versions of GLP-1 products like semaglutide, which include the widely known drugs Ozempic and Wegovy, are being sold in stores and online. Health Canada stresses these type of unauthorized products can pose serious health risks because the health agency has not assessed them. The popularity in these drugs have skyrocketed in recent years as they mimic GLP-1, a natural hormone in the body which helps treat people with type 2 diabetes, manage blood sugar levels, and treat obesity. Health Canada says these fake products can contain too much, too little, or no active ingredients, unlisted, dangerous, or unknown ingredients, and also contaminants like solvents, heavy metals, or particles. The advisory tells consumers to only buy prescription drugs from licensed pharmacies. Finally, heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, and now experts are analyzing another risk factor, financial stress. Worrying about money and food may age the heart even faster than more traditional risks. That's according to a new study. Researchers analyzed data from more than 280,000 adults who answered surveys about social and economic factors in their lives and underwent tests on their heart health. Researchers found financial stress tended to age the the heart at a rate similar to or greater than other risk factors like high blood pressure and diabetes.
We also have to think about the issue of compounded risk factors, which is that somebody could have high blood pressure and they also have financial stress. That person now has two significant risk factors for worse cardiovascular health.
Experts say people with financial stress need to separate the numbers from the emotions. Once the feelings have subsided, they recommend working on one small financial action at a time.
And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones today. It's a 106th birthday for Violet Ocol of Dartmouth.
106. Oh my gosh, Violet, happy birthday to you. And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones Saturday. It's a 50th anniversary for Sharon and Kevin Umla of Halifax.
All right, well, to see your milestone again or to find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. Okay, now here's a story that might give you goosebumps. It's about a man who started doing a home renovation and found something he never expected.
Yeah. It was an old newspaper from 1946 that almost felt like a message of love from his late mother.
A drive down historic 8th Street in South Fargo reveals a lot of the city's history. The homes, cozy and old.
My wife loves old houses. And I told her, you know, I'm old. Old guys maybe shouldn't be moving into old houses, and we took a family vote and we moved into this house.
When Casey and Patsy Chapman moved from Bismarck to Fargo, they went in search of a house.
We looked at a number of houses, and when we walked in the door of this house, this is the one.
Now, like a lot of old homes here on Fargo's historic 8th Street, this one needed a little TLC, some remodeling. And so the Chapmans wanted to turn 2 small bedrooms into 1. But when contractors started renovation work here at the home, an incredible find.
Now, in order to level it out, I am told by the contractor, they put newspaper behind it, which apparently was very common just to bring it up to that level. That little bit brought it up.
Under the floorboards of the second floor bedrooms.
And he handed me this board. And on the back of the board was the front page of the Fargo Forum ripped in half and stuck onto these nails. And so I thought it was kind of cool.
An old Fargo Forum newspaper, but not just any paper.
So I looked a little bit further, saw it was October of 1946, looked at the picture, and the picture just to the right of the tear is my mother. That's my mom right there.
Marty Anderson, his mother, NDSU Homecoming Queen, 1946.
I know it's kind of maybe it's a strange way to put it, but I had goosebumps. I thought, okay, you know, so this house, you know, my mother had nothing to do with my house, or this house, my parents had nothing to do with it. And here is a bedroom in our house that we open up the floor, and all of a sudden, here's, you know, one of my mom's great moments.
Casey just sat and looked at that newspaper, found in a random house in Fargo.
Somebody said it's a God wink. I didn't really know that term, and I went and looked it up, and, you know, kind of a sort of a inspiration, divine inspiration of some sort. And I thought, I can buy that.
Casey then let family all over the country know what they had just uncovered. This treasure find.
This is the only newspaper that was found.
It's almost as though, Casey said, his mom was giving him a thumbs up for choosing this old house. A newspaper, now about to be framed on a brick wall as part of the new renovation here.
I agree. I think that's what made it so exciting, where I wanted to tell everybody. You know, I wanted to go downtown on Broadway and say, hey, look at this, look at this.
It's Friday, January 23rd, today on Your Morning Atlantic. The New Brunswick government is expected to release its final report today on a mysterious brain disease. Your top news headlines and gas and diesel prices just ahead on this Friday morning.
And comfort food is on the menu today. Suzette Belliveau joins us with a cozy winter meal thanks to our partners at Chris Brothers.
Oh, there is nothing like warm, fresh, homemade soup during the middle of winter, especially when we got a deep freeze and then we have a storm on the way. And we wish that you could smell what we're smelling right now, because for the past, 30 minutes or so, Suze has been cooking and it smells fantastic.
I can't wait to try it.
Yes.
Me too. It smells like my grandma Ryle's bean soup. I know it's not, but it definitely gives that kind of scent.
Got some nostalgia there.
Indeed, that's where the smells can take you. I would love some hot soup today because it's not warm outside.
No, it's going to get much colder tonight. That's where we're going to see that big dip occur. See warm beverages, warm meals. That's what you're going to want into the weekend because it's going to remain cold.
Oh, slow cooker season.
Yes,
absolutely.
Good call.
Here's a live look at St. John as of right now, -9 degrees as you head outdoors. We're going to take a look at that wind chill because that factors in as well this morning. Make sure to layer up before heading out. Also -13 degrees in Fredericton, -6 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -4 in both Halifax and Sydney, -29 into Labrador City, and -1 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill early this morning, so it is feeling even colder when you factor it in. We do have a risk of frostbite into parts of Labrador. Speaking of cold, we have a cold warning in effect for Saturday morning until Sunday for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. For Labrador as well, we're going to see that cold warning extending into Tuesday's forecast. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We are going to see sunshine early this morning for parts of the region, as well as some flurry activity. And then in terms of the current wind across the maritime region, starting off a bit lighter, picking up into the afternoon. As of right now, it is 41 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 35 into Grand Etang, with 30 into Yarmouth. A few wind gusts to notify you of, getting up to 54 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 46 into Yarmouth. We'll take a look at that long-range weekend forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. The New Brunswick government is today expected to release its final report on a mysterious brain disease that for years has baffled experts. Nearly 400 New Brunswickers, mostly in the Acadian Peninsula and Moncton areas, have reported symptoms of what the province has deemed a, quote, neurological syndrome of unknown cause. First reported in 2021, symptoms include memory problems, balance issues, behavioral changes, muscle spasms, and bursts of intense pain. In 2022, health officials said experts found no evidence that a cluster of cases existed following an investigation of 48 patients, 46 of them referred by a single neurologist. First Nation chiefs across Atlantic Canada are calling for an urgent meeting with the federal government after 2 Indigenous men were fatally shot by RCMP officers over the past 2 weeks. A group representing Indigenous communities say they want to meet as soon as possible with federal ministers and leadership from the RCMP. The chiefs say they have serious concerns following the deaths of a man on Nuguktuk First Nation in New Brunswick and another on Samaganagati First Nation in Nova Scotia last week. Both cases are being investigated by the Serious Incident Response Team. There is word Porter Airlines is closing its Halifax and Thunder Bay bases. CUPE says the decision will affect about 60 employees across both cities. The union says it got word of the news on the 14th and says the company is treating the matter as a group termination. Published reports say the company has decided maintaining hubs in Toronto and Ottawa is the most effective way to operate in the evolving industry. Halifax's busy Quinpool Road is once again back open this morning. Last night, Halifax police had an area cordoned off, and Nova Scotia Power's outage map reported a significant outage for the Quinpool Road area. The call came in around 7:30 p.m. A large propane tank was found to be leaking on Larch Street, and experts did not want to take any chances, so they cut off power. We are told some residents were evacuated and comfort buses were brought in. This neighborhood is heavily populated by university students. Power has since been restored. At the pumps, a small increase in the price of gas overnight, but quite a big jump for what you'll pay for diesel. In Nova Scotia, Zone 1, gas increased by 0.6 cents. The minimum price now $1.33 a litre. A bigger increase for diesel, which increased by 7.2 cents. The minimum price $1.67.3. In PEI, gas increased by 1.7 cents. The minimum price $1.45 a litre. And diesel jumped by 7.4 cents. The minimum price $1.79.7. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 0.2 cents. The maximum price now $1.36.9, and diesel increased by 4.2 cents a litre. The maximum price now $1.76.6. Nova Scotia is getting tougher on illegal fishing.
Hopefully it's enough of a dollar value that deters illegal activity.
The province has added more than 30 new summary offenses that will see higher fines issued for fraud and falsifying records, with repeat offenders paying double the initial fine. That jumps from $5,000 to $10,000. And those caught buying or processing illegally caught seafood would face fines of $25,000 for the first offense and double if caught again.
We're going to need to see those inspectors out there. The inspectors are going to actually have to lay charges. Once they lay those charges, then we'll begin to see this actually act as a deterrent.
The province estimates that 30% of lobster landings go unreported, representing roughly $400 million in lost taxable revenue for the province. Finally, the stars of the popular Canadian hockey drama Heated Rivalry are headed to the Olympics.
Showcasing the two most talked about prospects in the world.
Hudson Williams and Connor Story will be among the torchbearers carrying the Olympic flame. They play characters who are two of the best hockey players in the world and rivals on the ice who struggle to contain their feelings for each other. They're going to go to the Olympics and be torchbearers?
That's awesome.
Wow.
Oh, incredible. Excited for them.
What a fun opportunity.
I know. Just like how this little Canadian show, based on a book series from a Nova Scotia author, has just taken over the world. Like, everyone's talking about it.
Oh, yeah. I was probably one of the last people to jump on this trend and look at the show. Incredible. Blew my mind. I was like, I understand now. This is why everyone's watching it.
With the hype around it.
There was a video, too, of the gentleman that plays Kip. He was at a hockey game. He took off his jersey, and he had the Hunter jersey underneath. And he turns around, and they were playing the scene of them on the ice. Oh,
that's
fun. My goodness. That actor who played Kip, he's performed in Charlottetown, too.
Really?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So many connections.
So many connections.
Well, guess what? Speaking of sports, we're about to make a Thunderbirds fan very happy. CTV wants you to team up with the Halifax Thunderbirds, and we're about to give away 4 tickets to the January 31st Thunderbirds game, where they'll face off against the Georgia Swarm. You'll also get a chance to watch the pregame warm-up from the penalty box, a night at the Halifax Marriott Harbourfront Hotel, a $100 gift card to the Harbourstone Poorhouse. So the winner is Rick Cook of Moncton. Woo!
Congratulations.
Rick. Oh my gosh, Rick, you're going to be in our neck of the woods next week. Congratulations to you. Thank you to everybody who entered. A great response to this contest. Yay.
Rick is going to have a great time.
Oh, yes.
And everyone else, now who's he going to bring with him? He's got those 4 tickets. All right, still ahead, we'll have your latest look at your national, international news headlines. And right after the break, we'll have the Friday forecast. Speaking of Moncton, roads nice and clear this morning, but it is cold out there. Latavia has the details on just how cold it's going to get later today.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada, and welcome back. The time now is 8:12 on your Friday morning. Taking a live look at Peggy's Cove, it is -3 degrees in your area. We are expecting a big cool down into the evening, really right across the region, so keep that in mind as well if you have plans to head out then. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. As of right now, it is -10 degrees over in Fredericton, -6 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -3 currently heading outdoors in Halifax, -4 in Sydney, -27 degrees in Cartwright, -9 over in Corner Brook. A cold warning currently in effect for parts of all 3 maritime provinces Saturday morning until Sunday, seeing the wind chill range from -25 to -37. And a cold warning also extended into parts of Labrador Saturday until Tuesday, wind chill nearing -40 to -50. So it is going to be quite cold. We do have a deep freeze heading our way into tonight. But as of right now, it is kind of cold. Starting off your day, sunshine early this morning for parts of the region, and also seeing some flurry activity for parts of Atlantic Canada. Into the afternoon, much of the same is expected, taking us into tonight. We have that polar air moving through Atlantic Canada, really cooling things down, especially when you factor in that wind chill. So we are going to see flurries remain for parts of Atlantic Canada, taking us into early Saturday morning. A cold, sunny day ahead with some flurry activity still tracking. If you're wondering about our snowfall outlook, seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation across Nova Scotia, as well as into parts of Labrador and into Newfoundland. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Sunshine today, but also seeing flurries move in. Daytime highs will range from -10 to -3. Wind out of the lighter side, west 20 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island looking highs between -5 to -3, a mix of sun and cloud with flurries into the evening, wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, much of the same. We are going to see scattered flurries throughout your day today. Highs between a -3 to +1. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, same thing. We're looking at scattered flurries with daytime highs between -3 to +2. For Labrador City, lots of sunshine throughout your day today. A high of -17 degrees in Labrador City. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland. A mix of sun and cloud, flurries into the evening and afternoon. In terms of our forecast for Saturday, as I mentioned, a cold day ahead right across the region. We are going to see sunshine, but also flurry activity into Saturday night. Much of the same. Another cold night ahead. That takes us into Sunday, a sunny, cold day ahead as well. And we are going to see sunshine throughout the day with a bit of flurry activity for parts of the region. But we have another snowfall event headed our way. This is a low pressure system mixed in with a polar front. It's going to bring some significant snowfall our way Sunday night into Monday. Keep an eye on that forecast coming up. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. U.S. President Donald Trump has lashed out at Prime Minister Mark Carney on social media. Last night, Trump posted this letter to Carney withdrawing his invitation to join the Board of Peace on the future of Gaza, calling it the most prestigious board of leaders ever assembled. Canada previously said it would join in principle, but not pay the billion-dollar fee for permanent membership. And Trump has revealed more details on the framework of a future deal over Greenland. That's coming in 2 weeks. CTV's Judy Trin has more on what we know so far and what it could mean for Canada.
The framework for negotiating the future of Greenland was drafted by the U.S. President and NATO's Secretary General.
We can do anything we want. We can do military. We can do anything we want. And it's being negotiated, and let's see what happens. I think it'll be good.
It could include more American bases and troops and drilling rights to critical minerals, all to prevent Russia and China from gaining a foothold in the Arctic.
When it comes to Greenland specifically, their economy, their military situation, Russia and China will never get access.
Denmark and the semi-autonomous territory of Greenland weren't part of the discussions and won't give up their sovereignty.
We have some clear red lines what's been delivered to the president, and nothing about a deal on mineral resources or anything else. But that's something, the further discussions that we are willing to take.
The framework involves boosting security for the entire region by the 7 NATO allies in the Arctic Circle. After his meeting with the NATO chief, Prime Minister Mark Carney reiterated that Canada planned to quadruple defense spending over the next decade and invest in the Arctic with new radar technology and more soldiers on land, sea, and air. Military analysts say after Greenland, Trump could target Canada next.
We're seeing the playbook played out right in front of our eyes here, and this is what we should expect to happen in Canada.
Carney's plan to quadruple military investments will cost about $150 billion annually, a steep price to defend sovereignty.
CTV's Judy Trin reporting in Ottawa. Finally, Hollywood is still buzzing over this year's list of Oscar nominees. The horror film Sinners set a record with 16 nominations, and several Canadians are up for Academy Awards. CTV's Andrea Kay says more.
It is the not-so-little movie that could. K-pop Demon Hunters is now a 2-time Academy Award-nominated film. Co-written and co-directed by Toronto's Maggie Kang, it is the first Korean animated film to contend for an Oscar.
It's really validating for us as animation directors to see a movie be so successful.
And the chart-topping song Golden from the film will face off in the Best Original Song category. Kang, a graduate of Oakville, Ontario's Sheridan College, will be joined by another former student, Domi Shi.
Okay, come and get me.
She is nominated for her animated film, Ilio. This is her 3rd nomination, and she's hoping to add a 2nd Academy Award to the one she won for Best Animated Short Film, Bao, in 2018. Toronto's J. Miles Dale is no stranger to film's big night, the producer of the 2019 Oscar-winning Best Picture, The Shape of Water. is back in Best Picture contention as a producer on Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Shot largely on Toronto's sound stages, the retelling of Mary Shelley's classic novel netted 9 nominations. 2 films from Quebec creatives will also be making the trip to Hollywood. 18 years ago, Montreal's Chris Lavie and Maciejek Szyszybow's Madame Tuteli was nominated in the Best Animated Short Film category. They return with the stop-motion fable, The Girl Who Cried Pearls. And Montreal's award-winning documentarian Alison McAlpine's Perfectly a Strangeness is up for documentary short film. The 98th Annual Academy Awards, hosted once again by Conan O'Brien, will be broadcast on March 15th, right here on CTV. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Thank you, Andrea. Don't go anywhere. When we return, we're heading over to the Your Morning Atlantic kitchen. Our partners, Chris Brothers, are there standing by with Suzette to talk about a nice cozy soup. That's coming up next.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. It's 8:22. Suzette Beliveau's in the kitchen. Good morning.
Happy Friday.
Well, they're super happy now. You're cooking us something delicious and cozy.
Yeah, well,
thanks to our partners at Chris Brothers.
Absolutely. It's that time of year, Crystal, where there's, you know, snowstorms on the horizon, perhaps, and you really want that nice, cozy, winter warming meal. And Chris Brothers is here to help us with just that. So I have a ham and potato soup on the go this morning. So I already started it. I know the aromas are filling up the newsroom right now.
Can I stir it?
Yes,
I just
absolutely.
feel like this looks like fun. I like to stir the pot.
Oh, yes. So I'll tell you briefly what I already have in here before we get to the next step, which I'll have you help me with. So it started with putting some onions, chopped onion, and butter in the pan.
Yep.
After that, I let that, you know, simmer up a little bit. Then I threw in some chicken broth, celery, carrots, some thyme, some parsley, and some chopped potatoes as well. That all goes in together. So this has been cooking for about 20-30 minutes or so with this. And I throw in a lot of chopped ham. And you can get that Chris Brothers ham at your grocery store, anywhere you get your groceries. I chopped a bunch of it in, throw the ham in there. And you can see the nice, beautiful colors, the ham.
It's gorgeous.
The potatoes, the carrots.
A whack ton of flavor comes out of ham, too, when you cook it in a soup.
Oh, and I didn't even add salt. I added pepper. I didn't add salt because the natural salts just come out of the ham.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. So, Crystal, the next step now is to take the potato masher and just mash up some of the potatoes, what's left of them. I know they're starting to get
Can I do
soft.
a rough chop? Because I like chunks of potato in my soup.
Absolutely. Okay. Whatever suits your fancy there, go for it.
Wow, this really smells good. This really does smell like my grandma Ryle's soup. It's really, really good.
Love to hear that. Yeah, and you could do a ham and bean soup. There's different varieties. I thought potatoes would be nice today to complement the hams, just because it's that time of year, you know, you want something nice and
totally. You know what else this is? Economical.
It is.
Yeah.
Very much so. And it'll feed a big group of people. And there's, you know, you get your protein in your ham there as well, and your vegetables.
That's about as much as I want to.
Yes, that's perfect, Crystal. Yeah, you do it to your liking. So the next step is to add a cup of blended cream.
Blend cream.
Yep.
Okay, so
you can really do whatever. I mean, however thick you want. Perhaps you just want to use some milk. That's fine. I use some blend cream, so we'll stir that up in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to increase the heat just a little bit, Crystal, and then we're going to get that cooking for a few minutes, and then after that, if you feel like you want it to be a little thicker, you can add a tablespoon of cornstarch with a tablespoon of water, mix it up, and then put it in the pot, and then let it simmer and sit, and it will gradually start to thicken up.
Perfect. What's this little, these little marks? Is it
thyme. Thyme from my garden, actually.
Fresh thyme.
Well, I say my garden, my husband's garden.
Yeah.
Fresh thyme I put in there.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, which is
great.
really good flavor. So, of course, what's a nice homemade soup without a sandwich?
Oh, it needs a friend.
Of course, and thankfully, our friends, our partners at Chris Brothers also make a really nice smoked meat Montreal style.
Oh, come on.
So
You're killing me. This is so
I know, right up your alley. So
yeah.
look, so easy peasy to make the sandwich, Crystal. I like using that really nice, the yellow mustard, the Chris Brothers yellow mustard. Slather that on some rye bread. I mean, it's just a delicious compliment. And then
For me, I just like to pile the meat high, and that's what I did in my
Same.
sandwich here. Pile it high.
Stick on the meat. Put a ton on there.
You go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
You go ahead. Pile it high. You can use Swiss cheese. I brought some mozzarella today. Whatever suits your fancy. And if you like sauerkraut now on it, add that. But today, the feature, the star of the show, is the smoked meat and the ham. And the colors you're getting in these are so nice.
So gorgeous. Okay. Great, and then you put that little piece of cheese on there. Bob's your uncle. This is gorgeous.
Your uncle.
I can't wait to try this. We're letting it heat up a bit, right?
It's heating up a bit. I made some yesterday that I had here that I taste tested.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Good.
And
so good. But this one's nice and hot. This one's probably cooled off.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to try the hot stuff in a second. We have got the recipe on our website. Latavia, you need to get in here and try this.
It's good.
Oh, you know it, ladies. Starting off with our 3-day forecast first. In New Brunswick, -4 degrees starting off your day. For your daytime high, a mix of sun and cloud. Isolated flurries across the province, cooling right down tonight, -21. Saturday will remain cold with a mix of sun and cloud and -14 degrees yet again on Sunday. Sunny skies, snow arrives into the evening. For Nova Scotia, looking at a high of -1, we do have scattered flurries throughout your day. -13 degrees on Saturday. Sunshine with isolated flurries. And then on Sunday, -12, a mix of sun and cloud with evening snow. For Prince Edward Island, lots of sunshine throughout your day today with a high of -3. Evening flurries, -15 into Saturday. A mix of sun and cloud and scattered flurries across the island. Sunshine on Sunday, -15 with evening snow.
Why do you go to Nova Scotia? It's wonderful. Coming up this half hour, Ethan Hawke defending Nova Scotia after a moment on the Chelsea Handler show. CTV's Katie Kelly has all your entertainment headlines just ahead.
Welcome back, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:30, and we're wrapping up the show in just a bit, half an hour left. And fun fact, I don't know if you ladies know that Ethan Hawke now goes down as an iconic horror character.
Really? Black Phone?
You got it. The Black Phone, and now there's a sequel. He plays the grabber. Quite freaky.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's quite talented, as we all know.
That's cool.
And he's been coming to Nova Scotia for years.
Yes, we love him.
Years. Yes, we do. And I'm glad he defended our honor.
Yes.
Why come to Nova Scotia? So many reasons.
Oh, gosh. So many
Look at that. Here's one. If you want to go over to Newfoundland, at least, Port de Crave. Sun is shining early this morning. A bit cooler starting off your day. It is -2 degrees, but temperatures will warm up. Same thing goes for the Maritimes. We are looking at cooler temperatures starting off the day. -10 degrees over in Fredericton, -6 in Charlottetown, -3 degrees in Halifax, -4 starting off your day in Sydney, and -2 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Factor in that wind chill, feeling a lot colder, but not as cold as going to feel tonight. Keep that in mind. As of right now, Labrador has a risk of frostbite. That is going to happen for many areas across Atlantic Canada into this evening. A cold warning now issued for parts of all 3 maritime provinces Saturday morning until Sunday. We are expecting that wind chill to play a big factor in the cool down tonight. A cold warning also issued for parts of Labrador until Tuesday. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Kind of the calm before the storm. So we have sunshine across the region as well as a few flurries tracking. Temperatures will warm up just a bit, but still remaining below the freezing mark for the most part. And wind on the lighter side starting off the day will continue to pick up into the afternoon. Already picking up in North Cape at 37 kilometers per hour, 35 into Grand Etang, 26 in Yarmouth. Wind gusts of up to 44 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 41 in Yarmouth. Now we have a big snow event happening on Sunday night. We'll give you the full details coming up, but first we'll take a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. The New Brunswick government is today expected to release its final report on a mystery brain disease that for years has baffled experts. Nearly 400 New Brunswickers, mostly in the Acadian Peninsula and Moncton areas, have reported symptoms of what the province has deemed a, quote, neurological syndrome of unknown cause. First reported in 2021, symptoms include memory problems, balance issues, behavioral changes, muscle spasms, and bursts of intense pain. In 2022, health officials said experts found no evidence that a cluster of cases existed. Following an investigation of 48 patients, 46 of them referred by a single neurologist. Halifax's busy Quinpool Road is back open this morning. Last night, Halifax police had an area cordoned off, and Nova Scotia Power's outage map reported a significant outage for the Quinpool Road area. The call came in around 7:30 p.m. A large propane tank was found to be leaking on Large Street, and experts didn't want to take any chances, so they cut off power. We're told some residents were evacuated and comfort buses were brought in. Power has since been restored. There's word Porter Airlines is closing its Halifax and Thunder Bay bases. CUPE says the decision will affect about 60 employees across both cities. The union says it got word of the news on the 14th and says the company is treating the matter as a group termination. Published reports say the company has decided maintaining hubs in Toronto and Ottawa is the most effective way to operate in the evolving industry. Staying with airlines, in an effort to attract Canadians back to Sin City, select hotels in Las Vegas are offering to take Canadian money at par for bookings until the end of August. It's another sign that many American cities, including Vegas, are feeling the effects of Canadians choosing to travel to destinations other than the U.S. For more on this, we bring in CTV's Scott Hurst. Scott, tell us more about these incentives to try and bring Canadians south of the border.
Good morning, Amanda. The numbers have shown a lot of Canadians for much of the year have shunned travel to the United States, with a new poll from Abacus showing 1 in 4 Canadians, a quarter of respondents, say they've avoided travel to the United States because of feelings towards U.S. President Donald Trump. Also, a lot of Canadians have pointed to the weak loonie as a reason for not crossing the border. Now, some U.S. hospitality chains are looking to grab some headlines, of course, with promotional stunts to lure back Canadians across the border. At least one Sin City hotel chain is rolling the dice, gambling that Canadians will come back for a good deal. 3 hotels in Las Vegas are now accepting the Canadian dollar at par to the American dollar for select gaming, hotel, and drink services. The goal is at least to remove the financial barriers for Canadians wanting to travel south of the border and wanting to take their dollars to Las Vegas so that they can spend their dollars south of the border again. And we've seen that Canadian tourism is incredibly important for the U.S. A recent congressional report found that in 2024, Canadian tourism contributed more than $20 billion to the U.S. economy, Amanda, and supported more than 140,000 U.S. jobs.
No chump change there. And Scott, later this morning, we're going to find out the latest stats for travel between Canada and other countries. We know past releases from StatsCan, they've made one thing really clear, that Canadians have been using their travel dollars to go to other destinations. So what can we expect?
Yeah, we've seen that throughout much of the year, declining Canadians wanting to go to the U.S. It doesn't mean Canadians are not traveling. Canadians have decided to travel in many other places across our country and other international destinations. And numbers from Stats Canada have shown a steady and consistent drop in both return trips by air and car by Canadians. In the second quarter alone, travel to the U.S. was down more than 21% year over year, with expenditures, how much money Canadians spend while on the trip to the U.S., also down 15%. And so we should get those new numbers later today, but they have shown consistently for much of the year many Canadians are avoiding travel south of the border, Amanda.
Okay, we'll look forward to those numbers coming out later today. Scott, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Amanda.
CTV Scott Hurst reporting live for us from our national newsroom in Toronto. Finally, back on the ground, we finish with prices at the pumps. There was a small increase in the price of gas overnight, but quite a big jump for diesel. In Nova Scotia's Zone 1, gas increased by 0.6 cents. The minimum price now $1.33 a litre. Bigger increase for diesel, which increased by 7.2 cents. The minimum price, $1.67.3 a litre. In Prince Edward Island, gas increased by 1.7 cents. The minimum price, now $1.45 a litre. And diesel jumped by 7.4 cents. The minimum price, now $1.79.7. And in New Brunswick, gas increased by 0.2 cents. The maximum price, now $1.36.9, so a very small increase. But diesel increased by 4.2 cents a litre. The maximum price now $1.76.6 a litre.
Okay.
What a nice surprise.
Yeah, Suzette brought over the soup. I have to admit, I just wanted to taste it to make sure, like, that, you know, I wouldn't react by
during your
spitting
news
it out.
we were eating it.
Long
I heard the spoons.
It's so good.
It smells amazing.
She made it just this morning on the show. Yeah, like it's so tasty. I'm considering I'm having company. I was going to make something else, but I might make this. It's delicious.
Like, I've been smelling it all morning, and it smells so divine and like
Suzette.
rich.
So this recipe's on our website, Suzette?
Nice.
It will be. Not yet, but it will be.
Oh my gosh.
It's great, right?
That's super good.
I know I make some delicious homemade bread with this. Like, who wouldn't want this on a freezing cold night tomorrow night?
That's super comforting.
Wow.
Comforting.
It's like stepping back in time.
And also, shout out to Suzette's husband and his garden.
Right?
For the fresh
veggies. Fresh thyme, I think.
Oh, yeah, fresh
Also,
thyme.
thank you, Suzette, for giving me this gigantic spoon. I feel like I'm at the Fortress of Louisburg. If you know, you know. Anyway, what's going on in our region?
It is going on. We'll take a look at the events.
Okay.
Once I swallow my soup. Okay. So we'll start off in St. John. You can come out and enjoy the Saturday pop-up market. The St. John City Market, which Amanda always talks about, will feature pop-up vendors, delicious food, art, gifts, and so much more. And the SOPA Winter Concert Series begins tonight in Charlottetown. It is an unforgettable evening of live music showcasing the incredible talent of student musicians. The performances will take place at the Florence Simmons Performance Hall at 7 p.m. Entry is by donation. And the Sippin' and Shuck takes place this evening in Halifax. We've also spoken about this on the show before. Enjoy world-renowned oysters, seafood, and Nova Scotia beverages. The event is hosted at the Westin Hotel from 7 to 9 p.m. Tickets still available.
Okay.
And if you do have an upcoming event, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca. So what's going on? All right, time now is 8:40. Stick with us. Katie Kelly will be here before you know it. Happy Friday, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:43. We're taking a live look at Truro. A bit of sunshine starting off your day. It is feeling quite cold early this morning, though, minus 13 degrees as you head outdoors. And we do have a chance of some scattered flurries headed your way. Now, we are seeing a cold start to the day for parts of the region. It's going to get a lot colder into tonight. So as of right now, it is minus 10 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton, minus 6 over in Charlottetown, minus 3 degrees early this morning in Halifax, minus 4 in Sydney, minus 30 degrees in Labrador City, and minus 2 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A cold warning now in effect for parts of all 3 maritime provinces Saturday morning until Sunday, seeing the wind chill between minus 25 to minus 37. And for parts of Labrador, a cold warning also in effect until Tuesday, wind chill between minus 40 to minus 50. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. We are seeing sunshine early this morning across parts of Atlantic Canada, but also seeing flurry activity. Taking us into this afternoon, much of the same is expected, but we do have that polar air that's going to move right across Atlantic Canada, really cooling things down into the overnight hours of tonight. Into Saturday morning, much of the same expected. We're going to have sunshine, flurries, but those really cold temperatures remain. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation across parts of Nova Scotia, as well as parts of Labrador, and then into Newfoundland, 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation expected. So we are going to see sunshine across New Brunswick today, but also seeing flurry activity throughout your day, with highs between minus 10 to minus 3, pretty light wind across the province. For Prince Edward Island, a mix of sun and cloud with flurries arriving into the evening. Daytime highs between minus 5 to minus 3, wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia. Looking at some scattered flurries throughout your day today. Could see some sunny breaks as well. Daytime highs between a minus 3 to plus 1. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, scattered flurries remain in the forecast. Daytime highs between minus 3 to plus 2. Labrador City, lots of sunshine throughout your day today. We do have a high of minus 17 degrees and 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland. A mix of sun and cloud. Flurries arrive into the afternoon. So as I mentioned, Saturday, a cold day ahead. We will be seeing some sunny breaks, but also flurries tracking across parts of Atlantic Canada. Saturday night, temperatures continue to cool down yet again, bringing us into Sunday morning. Another cold, sunny day ahead for the most part, still holding on to a bit of flurry activity for parts of Cape Breton Island and parts of Newfoundland. And then we have another snowfall headed our way. So this significant snowfall event is moving in Sunday night, and it's going to bring around 15 to 25 centimeters. That's what we're tracking as of right now. Make sure to keep an eye on the forecast for the weekend, Crystal.
Looks like might be sleeping at the station on Sunday night. We'll keep you posted. 8:46. Lovely Katie Kelly's back. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am great.
I'm going to try to keep my breath for all of this.
Know,
we have a lot to get through, and I can't breathe as well as I usually can.
You're doing this entertainment highlights little thing system for 2 here.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. And you can join in. So let's get started because there is a lot to get to. So big buzz online this week. I'd be surprised if you haven't already seen this. Ethan Hawke defending Nova Scotia after a moment on Chelsea Handler's show. She questioned why he spends so much time in Nova Scotia.
Why do you go to Nova Scotia? Is your wife from there?
What's with the tone?
I mean,
I really feel like I hurt your feelings a long time ago or something.
No, maybe Nova Scotia hurts my feelings. I just don't. I mean, I've been to Iceland.
Hawk has owned a summer place here for a long time, and he's no stranger to the region. You'll also remember he starred in Maudie, the film that was shot here and put a Nova Scotia story on the big screen. For a little context, though, Handler has had positive maritime comments in the past. She has visited before. She's been in St. John and Halifax, so not really sure why she was going so hard on him.
Just stirring the pot. Just stirring the pot.
Yeah, but this has definitely been making the rounds. People are, what's going on?
No, I hear that Ethan Hawke spends like a whole month here in the summers.
Yes,
He loves
I think it's like Guysborough County has a place.
near Antigonish. Yeah.
So cool. I would love to run into him. I know that.
Me too.
And you are welcome anytime, Ethan. We love to have you.
For sure.
All right, next up. So this is cool. Canada Post is shining a spotlight on Canadian hip-hop for Black History Month with a few new stamps.
Let your backbone fly.
I knew you were going to love this. They're going to be honoring 3 pioneers, including our honorary maritimer, Maestro Fresh West. Also, Mishi Me and Museon will also get a stamp. The stamps will be unveiled at a private event in Toronto on January 27th, with all 3 of these artists expected to be there. The new series celebrates the artists who helped put Canadian rap on the map. And yes, our own Maestro Fresh West definitely did that.
I will be going to the post office, getting the 10-pack, putting it in my Rap Sack backpack, and living my best life.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. Perfect. I want a letter from you or a postcard with one of those stamps.
You got it.
All right. Next up, Ones, the Beatles' #1 hits, is coming to the Maritimes for 2 nights this fall.
Every once in a long while, a show comes to remind you why you fell in love with the music of the Beatles.
This show recreates the band's iconic chart-topping era, taking audiences through the Beatles' 7-year rise with live performances of their #1 hits, and we know there's a lot of them, plus a full multimedia production with photos and video and narration on the big screen. You can catch it October 16th at the Cohen in Halifax and October 17th at Casino New Brunswick in Moncton. Tickets are on sale now. And I interviewed the producer of this show last night. This is going to be so cool. And if you love the Beatles, you need to be there.
It looks amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wow.
pretty awesome. All right.
Time for one more thing.
Okay, so next up, Canada Shore officially premiered last night. It's the new Canadian spin on the Jersey Shore style franchise, and it's filmed in Kelowna, BC.
What happens in Kelowna stays in Kelowna.
Okay, something about me.
So here in the Maritimes, we've got 3 reasons to watch this show. Kiera from Halifax, Riley from Bridgewater, and Emmy from Fredericton.
Come on.
3 Maritimers. The series follows 10 singles from across the country living together for a summer of big personalities, hookups, hangovers, and lots of drama. The first 2 episodes of Canada Shore dropped yesterday on Paramount Plus. If you're a fan of shows like Jersey Shore, there's one for you and 3 Maritimers to rewatch.
I am not, but I'm going to become one because that looks just so like, wow.
Yes.
Putting the reality in reality TV.
Yeah, giving like Love Island vibes and yeah. I'm excited.
Love it. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you, Katie.
You're very welcome, Crystal.
It's 8:50. We'll take a little break and wrap up the show after this. It's just like hanging out with
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. We've entered the last few minutes of the show for the week on this Friday morning, and we're going to have a nice little laugh because we're asking you, what's a television show that makes you laugh like every single time? Here's what you had to say. Wayne from Middle Sackville says, the King of Queens always cracks me up. Suzette also agrees with him.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, Kevin James, great. Also, Michelle from Halifax says, Resident Alien was the most hilarious TV show I've seen in years. I know that was filmed, I think they did 4 seasons at least, and it was filmed, I think in Alberta. Like
really?
it had some Canadian, Alan.
I've never heard of it. So
Alan,
thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk is in it.
Okay.
And also too, we have this answer from James in Canso. Duck Dynasty. Those guys were crazy.
Honestly, I've seen a few episodes. Randomly, it's quite funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
A hoot and a half. And Lindsay from Halifax says, I watch Who's the Boss, and I still laugh at the same jokes I laughed at years ago. Great actors with some wholesome, funny lines.
Who's the boss?
Who's the boss?
My gosh. Tony Danza, I think. Oh my gosh, yeah, a classic. I think from the 80s. Oh my gosh, really funny.
Yeah, so we were talking about, I said Abbott Elementary. What's the show that always makes you laugh, Crystal?
The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
And that was
very
Kimmy
funny.
Schmidt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for sending us a text. Yeah. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. Do we have time for the last laugh, control room? Okay, we do. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I love this new social media game. I don't know if it's a trend, but I love it. It's called Don't Get in the Photo. Check it out.
I love this.
Isn't this fun? It's be fun to do with the kids. You just the game is like you got to whirl around and try not, but of course.
This is like trying to take a photo of my kid.
Yeah, me too. These days, yeah.
Say they'd be cute.
I just think this would be like, I can't wait to play this with my nieces and nephews at like 6 to 13 range. Like,
get some crazy photos.
Even with your kids, I think they would like them.
Oh my gosh, totally. So you could do it in the house and get like some exercise. It's like that game when you just blow up a balloon and you try and keep it from hitting the ground.
Keepy-uppy.
Yeah, exactly.
Our dog is really good at that. He bumps it up. He gets so excited.
That's amazing.
Yeah, good exercise.
I love it. All right, well, this has been a very fun week.
It has, and we have a lot planned too for the start of next week. We'll be talking about, it's Red Tape Awareness Week, so we're going to be talking about the challenges that small businesses around here sometimes have.
Yeah.
So that's going to be coming up on Monday.
Okay, all right. Menopause is a movie being screened at the library on Tuesday. And this is a really important conversation. The Nova Scotia Menopause Society is teaming up with the Menopause Show, and they're showing this movie for free. And it talks about 3 women's very honest journeys navigating menopause. And it's going to be one of the opportunities to see this film, which is Canadian and just came out.
At the Halifax.
Awareness as
Totally.
Well. Yeah, we also have Purses with a Purpose project. They will be coming in and sharing the details on their organization.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
And an office job workout.
Yes, please.
We need to work on all that soup because I'm having another bowl.
I already did have a bowl, and I spilt it on my shirt.
So good. All right, it is 8:56, time for us to wrap up our show. But thanks for joining us this week, and we hope to see you Monday morning, 6 a.m. on a snowy day.
Yeah, I feel like we'll be talking about closures Monday morning.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully we can all make it in safe. But stay warm as well. We're going to have that drop in temperatures on tonight, really.